Hey guys, it is Tristan with Nerdette's Newsstand, and I feel like for the second day in a row, I've had to kind of give this warning in the beginning that this is a little bit more of a serious topic, and kind of just put that warning out there. And with that being said, my thoughts and prayers absolutely go out to the victims of the New Zealand shooting and also their family. This is just absolutely horrific. Just watching it unfold is kind of rattling with my brain, and I can't even imagine what they're going through. Also, in the same sentence, the people that are getting attacked because of this absolutely do not deserve it. In the beginning of his live stream, and I'm not going to mention his name, he deserves no platform, he said, "Remember, lad, subscribe to PewDiePie." Okay, so this was all to cause a huge war. This was all to cause a huge culture war, and I do have some documentation about that here in a minute. My nephews really enjoy PewDiePie. I've watched quite a bit of his content myself, whether it's like meme review or some of the other things he does, like Lawai. It's generally pretty well put together. If it wasn't, he wouldn't have been the biggest. I think it's like 89 million subscribers at this point, nor would he have been on the platform for so long. Now he's being just completely bombarded by ignorance, because this is ridiculous. And the first article I found was from Paste, and I really have never heard of this publication before, which is a good sign because it usually means it's crap. But they're saying, "We're not saying that PewDiePie ever intentionally encouraged these kinds of disgusting, inhuman behaviors. We're not arguing that PewDiePie in any way supports the shooting or agrees with racist white supremacist sentiments behind them. We're pointing out that PewDiePie does have a history of racist humor, from using the N-word or paying Indian users on Fiverr to hold up a sign with anti-Semitic comments." And I do remember when that happened, he said the N-word, like when he was streaming live. And then it said the one with the people on Fiverr, I can't remember exactly what it was, something with Keemstar, but you can always argue it's satire, because literally nowadays you can't say anything without it offending somebody, so just whatever. More recently and more worryingly, PewDiePie praised an openly neo-Nazi YouTube account on one of his videos, which resulted in a notable increase in the followers. And the weird thing is, I actually did see that video, and he was basically just trying to help a whole bunch of small YouTubers. And there was a bunch. There was like 50 of them. And one passed through. I don't know if he has a whole production team. I know he has editors. But whereas you look at somebody that's even way smaller than him, has like Philip DeFranco, they have a whole production team. They have people to look behind every single thing that's done to make sure there's no mistakes. 1 out of 50 got through with something. He immediately retracted it, took it off, and it was done. But even apparently that's more worrying. Again, we're not saying PewDiePie inspired this Islamophobic mass murder. Holy crap, you shouldn't even be writing an article that has to say that. PewDiePie's own actions, though, have made it possible for people who might be white supremacist or neo-Nazi to view him as a sympathizer. How? I'm not even going to go through all of this, but I really don't see how. I know people have been trying to make a connection to him with Ben Shapiro, who I personally don't have a huge problem with. But they're trying to say, because he was on a meme review, that it had nothing to do with politics. The guy was on meme review, and they're trying to say, he's a white supremacist now because of that. His actions did not do this. PewDiePie literally had nothing to do with this, and the man at this point is kind of an icon when it comes to YouTube. So how could somebody that wants to cause chaos? They literally go to stuff like this. They take big names, they take big actions, they take stuff that will cause people to fight, and that's what they did. That's exactly what they did. And I really don't want to focus on a whole lot of this negative stuff. Unfortunately, That's all that you see? So I looked at his tweet about this, and he does say, just heard the devastating reports from New Zealand Christchurch. I feel absolutely sickened having my name uttered by this person. I cannot even imagine. My heart and thoughts go out to the victims, family, and everyone affected by this tragedy. I can't even imagine what he is feeling, like the guilt, that just doom feeling that he's going through, because he had nothing to do with this. And unfortunately, you've got idiots attacking him, and I'm not giving them a platform. So let's look at some people that actually have his back, and I actually have a little bit of respect for. You had nothing to do with this, full stop. The shooter, who should be forgotten at the ass end of history, completely agree, Markiplier, is only trying to create division. Anyone that believes or spread the messages that you're associated with this in any way is doing exactly what the shooter wants. And, oh, you know what? Let me look at this. So we've been hearing about this manifesto, and it was originally, I believe, on 8chan. And this is somebody that actually has read it. It says, actually, it matters a lot. The guy's manifesto makes it clear why he said subscribe to PewDiePie. It's because he wants to create division and conflict. He wants the media to go after PewDiePie and his fans. He wants to accelerate the culture war. Everything about the attack was cultivated for that end. From the choice of the victims, to the weapons, to the people he referenced. He knows Felix won't approve of his actions. He knows Felix wants nothing to do with him. He is associating himself with PewDiePie because he wants to see Felix condemned for that association. He wants the mainstream media to run the narrative that PewDiePie and his supporters are alt-right or fascist adjacent. And what have they done? Like, seriously, that is all they have done, is run with that narrative. And it's a shame, because it's more of a, we're going to run with that, whichever story is going to either get the clicks, get the views, whatever, because PewDiePie can literally pull in more views than most of these mainstream medias nowadays. But the media literally just fell for the bait, and unfortunately, you've got people that don't see this. And I found this one, and I'm going to blur out the name because like I said, I don't want to give any of this negativity a platform. PewDiePie racism inspired the shooter, and your chanting lunatics all sound like a cult. What? Like, how can you, besides just saying it, can you give a good explanation to why you think that? If you don't, and if you can't, something's probably off in your head. Let's go back to the positivity, because I can't even with these morons. Like, you really cannot think that. I mean, I guess they probably can, but Rumi, who did his actual song, the Brofist song, I saw some news outlets trying to pin part of the blame on you. The whole situation is absolutely horrific, and trying to simplify deeper societal problems and use you as a scapegoat will only lead us further from addressing the real problems. And he's absolutely right. So sorry to hear your name to be attached with something horrific. Boogie, dude, I am so sorry to hear your name in all of this. I can't imagine the pain you're feeling. Know that you are well loved by many, including me. Dr. Grandier, I am sorry your name was involved in all of this when you had nothing to do with it. The shooter just wanted to create division. Very saddened by this part. My heart goes out to all the innocent victims and their loved ones. With all that being said, I think the real thing needs to be not doing what this man says, not creating this division, and not creating on the negative aspects of what we've seen. And we've seen a lot. I mean, there's 49 people dead at this point. Say your prayers. Hope them well. Do what you can if it comes to your local United Way, Salvation Army. Whatever you can do. Don't focus on the negative. Don't give these assholes a platform, and don't give these lunatics what they want. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.